We're here at Santa Pod's Ultimate Streetcar for round 4 of the 2015 Competition Clutch Front-Wheel Drive Drag Series. USC is the biggest modified event of the year and features Run What You Brung, Show and Shine, drift demos, entertainment, and of course the competition race classes. Well, at round 3 we saw Guy Chamberlain suffer major car damage when he hit the wall just past the finish line, and Sam Bolton totally destroyed the engine in the Tigra. So that's 2 of the front runners not racing this weekend. But we do have new competitor Dani Hyman giving the series a first try with his VW Golf.
Basically it's a Mark IV Golf 180 engine, stroke to a 2 litre, GT40 turbo, nitrous. On low boost makes about 640 horsepower, on high boost is about 9+ horsepower. The best time was a 10.44 at 137. We haven't been in front wheel drive for at least 8 years now, so it's all about learning how we get on with the car, and if we're good enough we will probably stick with it.
I had problems with my head on the last event. Basically we're just waiting for some parts still, and not all the parts have turned up from America. I just want to spend a little bit more time and money on it just so we come back on the next event and do with a better setup. I didn't want to rush it. I think I'm 10 points behind third place, so using the backup car just to get my points really. Probably not going to go very far, but at least I can get my points.
So qualifying takes place on Saturday with a final session on Sunday morning, then it's into the eliminations proper. This is session 1 early on Saturday. So Glen Robson in the right lane with the Civic and James Lord in the Golf there over in the left lane. Guy Chamberlain and Sam Bolton being out. This means Glen is very well placed to take the championship, so he's looking for a good qualifying place here. And problems for James Lord, but Glen is onto a flyer. Bit of a smoke at the end, but gets over the finish line. A 9.55 at 161 miles per hour, and that could well guarantee a number 1 position there. But not so good for James Lord. Paul Atkinson in the right lane, Dan Frost in the left lane. Now both in Civics of course, and both usually running 10-second times. Of course reactions and speeds don't really matter in qualifying, it's just the final time that counts. And off to a flyer here for Paul, but sounds like he's having a bit of a misfire there at the track. Both cars crossing in 10.9s.
Just something electrical, done a compression test, changed the plugs, changed the coils, checked the wiring, checked the logs, and there's no faults on there, so I don't know. Just going to see how it goes in the next run.
And after testing yesterday, it's problems again for Peter Cole.
Same problem as last time, gearbox, main shaft, gone. Stripped the splines off it, so the clutch won't work, basically.
Yeah, I mean, last meeting we were struggling with tyres and struggling with grip and one thing and another. We bought some new tyres, obviously cured the faults that we were having straight away, so yeah, all well and good now. No, I could probably go out and try and do a PB, but I think, to be honest, I'm just going to sit back and see how others go. We've got more qualifying in the morning, so I'm just going to sit back, chill and allow it to see what happens.
So into qualifying session 2, and with quite a few sessions available, not everyone's going to be going out each time, Glen Robson being one of those. No point in stressing the motor if you don't need to. Paul Atkinson in the right lane and Dan Frost again in the left lane, both looking to improve on those earlier 10.9 second times. Lights go green. Paul again off cleanly and Dan in chase mode, but Paul's visibly slowing as he goes past half track. Dan does go over and gets an improvement at 10.44, but that misfire slows Paul to an 11.18. So first time out then in class for Dani Hyman in the Dub Shack Racing Golf in the left lane, taking on the red Golfer James Lord in the right lane, and getting problems right off the line on this one. That's a real shame, and also an unknown problem for us, for James Lord, as he goes over the finish line.
The brake lines split, so I had no brakes whatsoever as I come through the line. Yeah, it did shake me up a little bit, to be fair, yeah. Went into the field. Luckily the parachute slowed me down a little bit, but not enough.
First time out this season then for Ben Dalglish in the Corsair. That's the Saab-powered Vauxhall Corsa, plagued in the past with broken half shafts. Let's see if he can do any better now. Strong launch and no brakes by the look of it. Yes, indeed, a very nice opening run.
It seemed to go well. I wasn't doing a full pass. I was just doing a checkout pass, no nitrous, and it seemed to go well. Seemed to have fixed the drive shaft issue, so it all looks good at the moment. We went back to the drive shafts that all the other Vauxhall boys use, rather than using the aftermarket LMF ones, and that seems to work well. Yeah, that's it. We're just going to set it up for the track and try and get the power down. Same as everyone else, pretty much now.
So, Danny, it doesn't look good right now. What's happened?
Basically, we stripped one of the teeth off the input shaft on the gearbox. So it's game over for us today, really.
It was going to be a bit of a challenging weekend because usually you're a four-wheel drive car racing with the VW DRC. You've gone a two-wheel drive. What were you expecting?
We're just seeing how the car goes, really. It's just like learning to drive again, go from four-wheel back to two-wheel. It's just like learning to drive again, basically.
Well, there were 2 more qualifying sessions on the Saturday, but we pick up the action for the final session on Sunday morning. First out is going to be Dan Frost, currently in 4th position and really looking to improve on that. He's up against James Lord in the left lane and both cars on an absolute flyer. As you can see just there, Dan going great guns, so is James. Dan putting in as he goes over the line. An incredible 10.26 at 144 and James a much improved 10.49 at 138. Paul Atkinson in the right lane, Ben Dalgleish in the left lane, both of them away very cleanly and no sign of that misfire there that we heard yesterday. Both looking very strong up to the line, and it is a great personal best, 10.4 for Ben and a 10.26 for Paul.
Basically turn the boost down, stop the misfire, and it's worked, so I've got full revs back. And it's worked, so I'm happy with that, really.
So it's actually going back on the boost now. You've gone forward in your times.
Yeah.
Is there more in it, do you think, today?
Yeah, less power. I'm just having my mapper, DWR, send me another map over. So hopefully I'll probably improve on that. But on that last run, it fuel cuts in second gear. So even if it doesn't do that this run, it should be faster anyway.
Yeah.
So now I'm really pleased, just less power, and it seems to make better times, really.
I'm really happy with it. It's really good. It's quite consistent and no breakages, so that's good.
So you qualified with a 10.3, which usually would see you higher than number 4, but it's been really close this weekend. Have you changed anything on the car the last couple of years, or?
No, not really. Pretty much the same. We've just sorted out the drive shaft issue, and that's it, really.
So for a 10.3, you'd be looking at like 700-800 horsepower, but with what I've heard, this is pretty much a standard engine.
Yeah, it's a completely standard engine. It's just got a bigger turbo, injectors, a couple of other little mods, and that's it, really.
Time to pack the chutes ready for the eliminations, and a last bit of polishing for number 1 qualifier Glen Robson. He obviously made the right call in not putting in a second qualifying run, and just 0.02 of a second separating numbers 2 and 3 qualifiers. So into eliminations, and with those breakages there are going to be a few bye runs in the first round, lucky for some. And one of those will be Glen Robson. So will he take it easy in this round, or will he want to check out his tune? With both the air and the track temperature a lot warmer than his last run, he could find conditions have changed. So Glen is out first, and there's no burnout this time, so it looks like he's going to be taking it easy and saving the motor for the semis. Though he won't have lane choice after this slow run. So there you go, just cruising off over the line there. That's all he has to do to take the victory and go through. James Lord in the left lane against Ben Dalgleish in the right lane, now both running in the 10.4. So this one should be a really close race all the way up to the stripe. A slow launch for Ben, and James leads from the start. But Bell is starting to pull back at the 3/4 track, but I don't think it's going to be enough. No, James looks like he's done it. He takes the win with a 10.49 at 136 to a losing 10.50 at 136. So close. Dan Frost next, and he gets an easy bye into the semi-finals due to Dani Hyman's Golf being broken again. So taking it easy on this pass and saving the motor. Well, that's Amy Bradley in the far lane in her backup road car, taking on Paul Atkinson in the right lane. She gets a good reaction time off the line, but Paul storms into an early lead within 50 metres. This shows how quick these race cars are compared to a standard road car, and he takes the win with a 10.24 at 139 miles per hour.
So James, yesterday was a bit of a strange day for you. You had some problems with the car and ended up in the field at one point, but now 10.4 has come out of nowhere into the semi-final. How'd you feel?
Very happy. For once, the car's actually behaving itself and it's been reliable. So yeah, happy.
And how close was it at the top end? Could you tell he was going to win, or?
It was that close I couldn't see him. He must have been literally side by side, but I mean, 0.1 was the difference through the gate. So it was a really good race, enjoyed it.
Yeah. So it must have, at what point did you know the car just hooked up and just went? You could tell he was on a flyer?
I think from the start I could feel it. It hooked up well off the line. I'd feel it straight away.
Yeah, I've been running 10.3, 10.4s consistent all qualifying. Dan's been running 10.7s, so it's down to the race really. Yeah. Hopefully just get lucky and just do another consistent run.
So into the semi-finals, and while Glen has a bit of an edge over the rest, there's nothing between the other three cars, and you really can't call it in advance. Time for a final check on tyre pressures, and it's ready for racing. First pair, Glen Robson in the right lane against James Lord in the left lane. Now Glen should have the edge, but don't forget, he hasn't put in a competitive run since yesterday morning. Might this tactic blow up in his face? Well, obviously not, as he's storming down the track to set the place in the final here. Looks great. In fact, he crosses the line with a 9.81 at 159 against a losing 11.60. Left lane, Paul Atkinson. Right lane, Dan Frost. Just 0.02 of a second between these two in qualifying. And off they go, even off the line. It's very, very close, but Paul is pulling out an early lead. Now Dan is chasing him down, but I think he's going to run out of track. This is looking very good for Paul, and he takes it. Yes, he does. 10.65 against a losing 10.69.
So Glenn, it's been a perfect weekend for you so far. Number one qualifier in the first run. Sit back for the rest of the weekend, just gone through, you're into the final. How'd you feel so far?
Yeah, plans really worked this weekend, so I'm really happy. Can't say no more really. It's doing what we wanted to do. I felt awful sitting out all day yesterday watching all of the lads run, but it's a game, and that's how you got to play it. Nice to see Paul in the final with me rather than me knocking him out in the semis or the quarters every round so far, so it's nice that we're both in final together.
Time for the all-important final. On paper, Glen really has the edge, but that 0.4 second advantage could easily be lost on the tree or by one missed shift. So it's Glen Robson in the right lane, Paul Atkinson in the left lane, and Paul's going to need to really cut a great light on this one. But it's Glen that's away first and pulling out a lead already. And by half track, you can see he's got this one. Paul's keeping up with him, but it looks good for Glen. And at the stripe, he takes the win with an easy 9.57 at 161 to a good but not good enough 10.22 at 139. And as he steps up with his daughter Olivia to collect his trophy, this event win gives Glen enough points to secure the overall series win with one round still to go. And with Guy Chamberlain out, the question is, can Paul Atkinson, Kiel Priestman or Amy Bradley overtake him to claim second place? There's still a lot to play for. And as the cars are loaded back into the trailers, we caught up with the newly crowned series champion.
Well, I'm here with USC front-wheel drive winner Glen Robson. How's the car performing? It's looking good.
Yeah, it's been really reliable all year. Just like to take this minute just to thank all my sponsors, EFI Parts, Competition Clutch, Turbo Centre, ASH, IPG Parts from States. I know it's a long one, but yeah, just that's about it. And my family as well for coming and supporting me with doing this.
It's fantastic. It actually sounds like a championship winning speech there, and that's actually not far off the truth, is it? Because this win today pretty much secures the championship for you.
It does, yeah. I mean, to actually win it before the end of the season is really, really good, but it gives me a chance now to come out and do some personal bests at the next meeting. We've quite a few things to try with the car, and we've just been playing it safe all season. It's now time to turn it up.
Can't wait to see what happens. It sounds like Glen is now taking the gloves off. He's secured the championships. We'll see you back here hopefully for the final round, the Jap Show finale in October. See you then.